So we're here with Naren Young. Naren from Australia. Naren, what brought you to the US of A?
Yeah, I'm a long way from home, but I just came here to further my bartending career, do something different, and see what New York was doing, and see what they're doing in Leblon Cocktails, and expanding my knowledge in terms of different spirits and drink trends and ideas that are happening around the world.
Why do you love making drinks so much? What is it?
I just like the look on people's faces when you're creating something original, something different. You know, something that's perhaps they've never tried before, that maybe they're afraid to try. You know, trying new spirits like tequilas or piscos, cachaças, sakes, things that maybe are a little kind of exotic, a little foreign, but then you kind of slowly get them onto them. And I think this is kind of changing the drinking landscape in America quite a lot, trying these new strange ingredients.
When do you muddle? Why do you muddle?
Generally muddling, I mean, muddling is a very old technique. People think when they see you go into a bar and they see you muddling a mojito, they think this is some new fascination. So it's kind of come full circle where centuries ago people were muddling old fashions and mint juleps down in the far south. Then it kind of transpired over into, you know, Cuba with the mojito, you know, with the Caipirinha in Brazil.
Right.
So now this kind of fusion of muddling has come together and has now kind of spread the world. So what it does is basically, all you're trying to do is extract fresh flavors.
Right.
So whether it's fresh herbs, whether it's now ginger, whether it's galangal, fresh citrus particularly, as with the Caipirinha and mojito and things like that. You're basically just trying to extract all those fresh oils, fresh essential flavors, and, you know, get more aroma out of the drink. So it just makes it feel like a much more fresher, you know, much more potent kind of exuberant drink.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And in terms of the equipment to muddle.
Well, essentially, I mean, these are two muddlers that a lot of people use around town. I mean, these do the job fine, but basically what I've found over the years is with muddling you need some leverage. You really need to kind of crush that fruit as much as you can. I mean, something like this, which we were using in Australia for a little while, a few years ago, this is a beautiful muddler. And what it does is, not only has it got a nice big round bottom, which crushes the fruit, I mean, something like this, for example, just gets, you kind of like trying to find the fruit at the bottom. With this, you can almost just come straight down on top and mash it all. So not only is it quicker, but it's more effective. And the thing is, with your muddling, you want to be kind of getting a lot of leverage from your shoulder and really getting that fresh fruit. If you've got your little arm like this, you can't really do anything. You know, and I'll prove the point to you right now. So we'll make a classic Caipirinha. So the way I like to do it is get a whole lime, particularly one that's juicy. If you want to get more juice out of them, you can either soak them in hot water for about 10 minutes, or just roll them on a bar surface, and this will extract a lot more juice and flavour out of them. So I just cut them in half, cut them in thirds, and then half again.
Looks like you've done a few limes.
I've done a few of these in my time. This is a pretty big lime, so we might need a whole one, but I'll just do a little bit more. So this is a really juicy lime as well. And often you can tell just by picking it up whether it's going to be juicy or not. Right. You know, I mean, you feel that now. Look at that. You can tell it's going to be. So you don't need a lot.
That's a nice lime.
So you basically want like just 6 or 8 big chunks in there. Then I add raw sugar. The reason I mean, this is a big controversial area. It is, and it kind of begs the question: is there a wrong or right way to make a Caipirinha? Is there a wrong or right way to make a martini? Yeah. Not really. This is just my interpretation of the way, over the years of making thousands of them in different ways, in different bars, of how I thought the best balance comes out. Right. And at the end of the day, the most important thing with any cocktail, whether it's got citrus or sugar or not, is balance. Yeah. You know, and you don't have to be an expert to know about balance. You know whether a drink tastes balanced or not. You know, it's got too much sugar, you can tell. The reason I use this granulated raw sugar is because it's a little coarser. And what that does is it grates against the skin of the lime, so it brings out more of those natural aromas and oils. So at the end, you'll just get this intense aroma. Where if you was just use like this, like simple syrup, you know, you just don't get that. It tastes a bit more synthetic to me. You know? And the other thing is, the advantage of this is it dilutes quickly, but with this kind of sugar, as the drink kind of dilutes and melts over your drinking it, it kind of changes flavour and changes character over the whole drink. So you kind of get a different experience during the whole drink, which I think is kind of nice. You know, so you basically want 2 to 3 teaspoons of this raw sugar, and getting a big muddling stick, which what we coined in Australia, these stick drinks. It's such a great term, you know. You get these, and when you see people down the bar and the bartenders using this like massive stick, without question, you've got like 10 people going, what are you doing there? Instead of you're at the end of the bar with this little muddling stick going like this, no one's seeing it. But if you're like this on the top of the bar, really getting your shoulders into it.
It's a great name, stick drink.
Stick drink. It's so great, isn't it? You know, and it kind of describes such a broad category of styles of drinks, like whether they're fruits, citrus, you know. I mean, mostly they were more caipirinhas. Yeah. That's what the kind of where the term was coined in Australia. But it's, you can incorporate it into any drink that uses this. You know, mojitos or you know any style of those South American Latino drinks.
Wow, look how much juice you just got.
So look at that. You basically want to crush it into like a paste.
Amazing.
Right. So you're getting all these aromas and flavors out of this paste, right? So you write down like that.
Really amazing.
And then a good swig of cachaça. I generally use around at least 2 ounces. Okay. And then there's the other debate: do you shake, do you stir?
Right.
Okay.
Very controversial.
It is controversial. I mean, especially in America, they want drinks quickly. Right. They want them done quickly, so they want them shaken and bang them out. That's fine. It does taste good, and what it does is it amalgamates the ingredients well.
Right.
But for me, I think with a drink like this, it's supposed to be quite rustic and quite potent. But I think it needs that little bit of dilution. Right. So I actually like to do I actually like to use it with crushed ice, which, as you know, in Brazil they use cracked and crushed ice a lot, don't they? Yeah. So. Quickest and easiest way to do this, just in a tea towel. I mean, you can buy ice crushers, you can even buy crushed ice machines. So this isn't like the most appropriate for every busy bar, but all I'm telling you is probably the best way that I've found to make a classic caipirinha. It's a good way to get your frustrations out too. So this thing serves 2 purposes.
Right. Well, I guess 3.
There we go.
If you don't like somebody.
That's right. So as you can see there, it's kind of come into like a bit of a powder form. Right. You don't want it too finalised, it'll just turn to water. Right. So what I do is I add about half the glass of crushed ice, and just what you're going to do is you're going to kind of churn it through and stir it from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, you really get in there with the crushed ice.
So what this will do is it'll chill it much quicker. Right. But it'll also amalgamate the sugars and lime more quicker, and the cachaça. So now that's about at the perfect dilution you want, and just for a bit extra, and also just so it dilutes a little bit further as you're drinking it, and just for aesthetics.
And is the brown sugar dissolved? Is it?
Not yet, but I mean it's dissolved quite enough right now. Like that'll be perfectly balanced and palatable. Right. But what that'll do is, over time, over the next 10-15 minutes or however long it takes you to drink it, it'll just start melting and become this really nice, sweet, sublime kind of concoction by the time you're finished. Right. I think,
and it's really chilled.
I think with the most important thing, like I said, with any cocktail, particularly the caipirinha, you've got this sweet, strong and sour, this classic triumvirate they talk about in the Caribbean and Central America and South America is this lime, lime, sugar and strong. So what you want to do is get the balance of each of those, so not one of them is overpowering the other. So there's not too much sweetness, not too much sour, not too much cachaça, you know.
What were those 3? Sweet, sour, and...
Sweet, sour, and strong.
And strong.
So that's perfectly balanced.
That's delicious.
People don't like drinks, you know, and you can always tailor them to different palates. If they want it a bit sweeter, add more sugar. A bit more sour, more lime. You know, I think that the time for the caipirinha is right now, without question.